Okay, now please look to the right here. You see base with 3 statues in the top. That's the Boy Scouts Memorial. The Boy Scouts Memorial. 3 statues. One for a man representing the American manhood, one for a woman representing the American womanhood, and the third one for the Boy Scouts. Now we're going to make the right on Constitution Avenue, and as you do that, please look to the left to see the African American Culture and History Museum, one of the Smithsonian institutions. It was opened in 2016. It's in an upside down pyramid shape, African royal crown shape, made of copper, metal, and glass. Has 7 floors, and it would take a long time. Some people take more than 1 day to visit, or 7-8 hours to visit this museum here. Now, as we're going to make the right, to the left, next door to the African American Culture and History Museum, is the American History Museum. And next to the American history will be the natural history. And next to the natural history will be the National Galleries of Art. But now, as we're going to cross this common light, please look to the right there to see the White House Oval Office, the south front of the White House that you walked to. The national Christmas trees there on this side also. The 0 Mile Stone, where they calculate how far is Washington D.C. away to any other cities. West of the White House is Eisenhower Executive Office Building, where the office of the Vice President and the presidential staff. So look to the right now. You see the Oval Office south front of the White House and Eisenhower Executive Office Building. And look to the left to see Washington Monument and Jefferson Memorial straight there to the left. Jefferson Memorial to the left now. And now we're going to make the left on 17th Street. And as we do that, please look to the right there to see the organizations of the American states. That's where Panama Treaty was signed, where the statue of Queen Isabella showing her offering her jewelry to Christopher Columbus. North of that is the daughter of the American Revolutions Organization. North of that is the headquarters of the American Red Cross and the Corcoran Galleries of Art. That here will be to your right. To your right. Then we're going to make the left here, and immediately to your right, you see the lockkeeper house. The man who used to open and lock the gates to the boats and bars was living in this little house with his family and 13 children. The lockkeeper house used to be located closer to the curb, but they moved it. There's a mark in the square showing the original location of that house before. They moved it away to have enough space for the people to get in and out because they opened it for public now. A lockkeeper house to your right now. And here we are to the right and to the left. This wall is in case of floods, they fill in the space in between to keep the floods away from the White House. That's to prevent floods reaching the White House. In case of floods. It happened in the 70s. Now, we're about to cross this light, and to the right will be World War II Memorial. World War II Memorial was opened in April 29th in 2004. It was opened officially 1 month later in May 29th in 2004. Consists of twin pavilions named after Atlantics and Pacifics, showing that World War II went over the 2 oceans. 56 pillars. Look here to your right, and look in the background, that's Lincoln Memorial. Between Lincoln Memorial and World War II Memorial is the reflecting pool, famous reflecting pool. To the right of the reflected pool, which is north, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. To the left, which is south, that would be the Korean War Memorial. Now to the left now, this is the Japanese Americans Memorial. Japanese Americans Memorial is surrounded by cherry blossom. I'm sorry, this is the Japanese trees with the cherry blossom. We gift from Tokyo, Japan in 1912. But as we make the left to the right, that open space where they set up the stage to choose the beauty queen during the cherry blossom festival, the beginning of April every year. 2,000 trees of the cherry blossoms were gifted from Tokyo, Japan. So they are planted around the tidal basin here to your right and left. And that's to your right now is Jefferson Memorial. The memorial was dedicated for the man. He was known the first to your right. See that memorial to your right here? That's Jefferson Memorial. It's under renovation now, as you can see. Never been renovated since it was established in 1939. This is to clean the roof and to replace the roof and to clean the dome. Look at this library of flowers here to your right now. The library of flowers. Now as we continue, please look to the left here to see the Holocaust Museum and Memorial. The Holocaust Museum and Memorial to your left now. It was opened in April 24th, 1993. It cost $167 million. Was dedicated for the Jews who lost their lives in World War II. Next door to the Holocaust Museum Memorial is the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. That's where they print the dollar bills, postal stamps, and the White House invitations. You could watch them print on the dollar bills, but only you can purchase samples. They do not give free samples here. They give free tours, but no free samples. Now back to Jefferson Memorial. The memorial has two levels, the statue level and the lower level. The lower level has display of the famous activities that the president was known for. The upper level has a statue for Thomas Jefferson, standing statue for Thomas Jefferson under the rotunda, surrounded by passages from his inspiring writings that he was famous for, such as the Declaration of Independence. Now, about to cross a small bridge here. Look please now to your right and to the left. This is a tidal basin to the right. Tidal basin to the right. Washington Channel behind the highway to the left. Now, as we drive by Jefferson Memorial, please look through the columns to see standing statue of Thomas Jefferson under the rotunda, surrounded by passages from his inspiring writings that he was famous for, such as the Declaration of Independence. standing statue faces the White House directly. Franklin Roosevelt admired Thomas Jefferson and wanted to watch them constructing the memorial for the man that he admired. You're right now, this is Jefferson Memorial. And now, at the end of the block, you can see George Mason Memorial. George Mason was a revolutionary writer and a statesman. He did not sign the Constitution at the beginning, but the Constitution first did not include the Bill of Rights. He wanted protections of individuals from the power of the federal government, and for that reason he was put out of the circle of the founding fathers. But before he died, he signed the Constitution. The Constitution included the Bill of Rights in it. George Mason opposed slavery and described it as a slow poison to humanity, and called on educating the slaves and freedom gradually. To your left here now, this is George Mason Memorial. On the river is George Mason Memorial Bridge. Also in the state of Virginia, they have George Mason University to honor George Mason. And now look to your right and to the left. To your right is the tidal basin, and to the left is the Potomac River. And behind the Potomac River, behind the bridge there is the Pentagon. Look at the three curved spires representing the three core values of the Air Force: integrity, sacrifice, and service. Pentagon is one of the largest office buildings in the world. Over 23,000 people are working as civilians or military. They imagine how much coffee such 23,000 people consume a day. There they see enough coffee to go to worship. There are 6 floors underground, 17 miles of corridors. You walk from one point to the other point across within 7.5 minutes. That's where the headquarters of the Department of Defense and the Department of Navy. Now, on the other side of the river, please look to the left here to see these cars are going back and forth. It's George Washington Memorial Parkway, connecting the house of George Washington south of Mount Vernon to the island of Theodore Roosevelt. From the island of Theodore Roosevelt to the Beltway North was established in the 60s. Now look through the trees, please, to see a house. This house is for Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee and his wife, Mary Custis, and 7 of their children were living in this house until the Civil War. During the Civil War, the government confiscated the land in the mansion. 14 years after the Civil War, the son of Robert E. Lee sued the government, and the Supreme Court ordered the government to give the land back to the family. But it was too late, but the General of the Union made sure that Robert E. Lee will never come back to his house again by burying soldiers of the Union around the house. The family agreed to sell the land back to the government for $150,000 for the 612 acres in the mansion. Now it's one of the 200 national cemeteries, but it's the most restricted one. Not anyone could be buried in Arlington Cemetery. Only the people who serve in the military at least 20 years, they have automatic approval to be buried in Arlington Cemetery. Other than that, White House or U.S. Capitol approval required. Now we are approaching here Martin Luther King Memorial and Franklin Roosevelt Memorial. The first memorial will be to your right here, which is Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt Memorial was opened on May 2nd in 1997. The memorial consists of 4 gallery rooms, 4 sections. Each section represents a term. The first 2 sections represent the Depression times, where you would see representations of the social and economical programs that the President initiated to help the country to get out of the depressions by generating jobs and work opportunities. The waterfalls here represent building dams to generate electricity for factories and work. The third section represents World War II, where there you see pieces of rocks scattered everywhere. They are shown the disorder in the case that the world went through during World War II. The fourth section is the Peace and Hope section. Statue of the President, the statue of the First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. There was controversy with that. Some people wanted to show the President with wheelchairs, others wanted to show him from behind the desk, but there are no wheelchair in the desk. Instead, had the statue of the President's favorite dog, Fala. So with that controversy, the addition was added to the memorial. That addition was uncovered by the former President Bill Clinton in his last weeks in the office in January 10th, 2000. That's to your right here. Okay? But now I'm going to let you off closer to the Martin Luther King Memorial. And after you visit Martin Luther King Memorial, you can walk back here. Where it's illegal for me to let you off will be in front of Martin Luther King Memorial. Martin Luther King Memorial's idea was taken out of statements made by Martin Luther King in his famous speech, "I have a dream, rock of hope out of mountain of despair." This is what you can see there, shape of mountain cut in the middle, that piece cut placed in the front, attached to it the statue of Martin Luther King. The statue is unfinished statue, symbol of unfinished mission of Martin Luther King. The famous statements inscribed in the wall around the memorial stated by Martin Luther King throughout his career. Okay, now Martin Luther King Memorial is right across from Jefferson Memorial. When you stand your back to the statue of Martin Luther King, you see clear of Jefferson Memorial. There's a bathroom across the street from Martin Luther King Memorial. After you visit Martin Luther King, you come back, you walk back here, again stay to the left until you reach Franklin Roosevelt. There's also another bathroom there at the beginning facing the tidal basins. 2 bathrooms here. Okay, we're going to be here for up to half an hour. Between the 2 memorials, divide your time please. The time now is 12:56, so about 1:25, we'll see you all back here please. Any questions? Directions clear? See you back in half an hour.
Can you give the directions one more time?
Okay, now from here to go to Martin Luther King, you make the left.
Okay.
And there is a small column there, you make the right where the people getting in and out.
Okay.
That's the entrance to Martin Luther King. You visit Martin Luther King Memorial, you come back again, and then you make the left and walk back here again by the tidal basin until you reach the Franklin Roosevelt Memorial. At the beginning of it is a bathroom there.
Okay, there's bathrooms both of them?
Yeah, another bathroom across the street from Martin Luther King Memorial.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thank you.